Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time, whichever it may be. Thank you for being here. Let's talk a little bit about Illuvium. Crypto ILV, big gaming play. It ran rampant last cycle. And in this video, I want to re-give my price prediction. There are kind of two of them. One's relatively bearish, one I think is kind of moonish, because I don't think it's going to fall in between. We'll get there in a little bit. But I also want to talk a little bit just about recent charts, price action, or price entries, or DCAs, because if you haven't noticed, most everything's kind of going up. Yes, it's more like this, but in general, almost everything's going that way. If you didn't think altcoin season was coming, you probably still don't if you didn't think it was before, but we're getting damn close, guys. Ethereum is right around that $4,000. Maybe by the time this video comes out, we'll hit the 4K, and everything that's good for Ethereum at this point is good for your alt bags. So I'll talk about some entry points or some DCA opportunities, and I will talk about the price prediction pretty early, halfway at the latest, because I need you to understand where my price prediction is coming from or how far I think it's going to go to make sense of the price entries. So again, this is all very, one, not financial advice. Two, it's all very debatable, right? At the very most, price predictions are educated guesses, and everyone is going to either think yours is the same as theirs, like literally the exact same, or incredibly bearish or incredibly moon boyish, right? So we'll just have to establish that really quick. And regardless, I'm going to pull up the chart. Again, if you've seen some of these videos from me, I've been pumping more of these out like this. I'm not going to go very detailed into technical analysis because I don't think you need to for this. If you're doing day trading or by the hour, the 4 hour, or the day, sure, yes. Then those things like the inverse head and shoulders and the bucket handle and the Twinkie sign and all that kind of stuff, that actually does make a difference. But right now I'm just looking for where are the main resistance and support lines to know when is it probably a good time to get in, and some risk aversion comes with that, right? Like, yeah, I'm willing to wait until it comes down this far, but you might risk missing it versus I'm only going to wait a couple of cents, right? And I'll give you guys what I think are the better entries right now for call this August. I mean, by the time it's released, we're near the end of July, all right? So let's kind of just get into it a little bit. If you don't know what Illuvium is, it's a series of games. This token, their tokenomics are ridiculous, guys. If you hadn't looked into it too much before, there's only ever going to be 9 million tokens released. There's about 6.25 million now, which scarcity is great if there's demand. And this is where I feel like a lot of people think I'm bearish and I think they're overly bullish, is that just because there's only 6.25 million tokens doesn't mean it's going to be worth a lot, right? There still needs to be the need for it. And I think they're going to start building it up a little bit. Gaming has halted a little bit. But the main thing that the low coin supply is going to do, volatile as hell once it starts going. It will skyrocket up. It will plummet back down because it doesn't take too many large purchases to move something that is that little coin supply. And it's only roughly $100 million market cap. So you have a low market cap tied in with a low coin count. This was great for swing trading. I did a lot of, this was one coin I did that a lot with last year. I do own this one currently. And I think I'm about ready to look at charts. If you guys have any questions, I'm not going to get to them in this video, obviously. Put them down in the comment section below. I'll address them in the next one. I'll be doing more of these. So guys, we're looking at this nice pretty chart up on the, I believe this is the 3-month chart. Yeah, May, June, July. There we go. So I have some lines drawn up of what I think are good DCA or entry points if you're not in it yet. And I guess I'll go ahead and start with some of the numbers. Oh, we're right at $15. It will not stay there for too much longer. It'll go up or down a little bit, but awesome. It is definitely going up. We can probably zoom in to see that in a second. But my price prediction, guys, I've been told this first range is very bearish, and I can see that. I think this token is either going to barely move or it's going to melt faces. I think we're going to either be at around, and I say barely move, I'm thinking call it roughly $150, around 120 to 160 or so. Or I think it's going to blow up past into 500 to 600. I don't think there's going to be much middle ground, to be honest. Last cycle ended up getting to 1,800 freaking dollars. I would be shocked if it gets up there. And I guess real quick before we get into what these blue lines are, other than yes, entry points, is one of the reasons why I think it could be a barely mover. And guys, I'm not trying to FUD. I own this fucking crypto, right? But it did burn a lot of people. Right? I mean, the fact it went up to $1,800 and now it dropped down to, did it go under 10? I'd have to go back to look if it went under 10. Actually, right here, it looks like it went under 10. That's nuts. So many people had to have lost money from this. And then if people lose money, they get emotional, call it a scam coin. In all reality, they just made a poor decision on timing. But people did get burned. There's going to be few areas where there's going to be a lot of selling pressure. $50 roundabout is going to be a big one because a lot of people bought there. The other big one's going to be $120. A lot of people bought there. But we got a little bit of room to go. But even that, guys, we're still talking what, a 7, 8x, and I'll take a 3 to 5x all day long, net those profits, move into something else to compound it. But what I'm looking at right now is, let's say you just want to get in, you think Illuvium's great, it's going to go to the moon. Sure, you can always just buy the damn thing, right? If you have a little bit of tolerance to wait or see if it's going to go down a little while, right around 1370. Again, give or take a couple of cents. We can zoom in to get a little bit more detailed, but I'm looking for the gross basis here. We have it hitting support, resistance, a resistance, support and resistance, resistance. Right in between the two on that one, this was a resistance, and then support, and it flew, resistance right a little bit above. Come here into more recently in the last month, it has been a line of resistance and then support. And now we're kind of out of range, supposedly. But I think this is realistic for us to get back down to about 1375. I'm not saying it will, but if you want a position, you can always set a buy limit there, see if it goes. There's a decent chance that if it ends up dropping down below about 1475, 67, around here, it's going to drop down right around the 1375, 1380. So that's where I would put a buy limit in. I actually have a DCA limit set there, a small one, because this is my smallest position, using kind of as a Hail Mary play. If you really want to just wait to see, maybe there'll be a black swan event and everything goes down, or a mid-market crash like it happened last cycle when Bitcoin dropped 53%. You can always set it down here for 1180. Another good area, again, of a lot of support and resistance markers. So let's zoom in briefly first. So this 1 month chart, and you can kind of see here, resistance line 1, right here at the top and bottoms of many, which is why I've got my buy limit set here. And we need a breakaway, right? Like, we're getting close to breakaway zones. Let's zoom out. Let's show a little bit more. So guys, there's a big marker here that we're getting, actually we're at almost, is 1573. This is an area I'm saying this is a big level we need to hold for 2 reasons. One, look how often in the last, this is a 6 month chart, we've touched past it and then went straight down. When we went up, it's mostly just direct candles and right back down. We fought here for a couple of days, it's like 2 or 3, and then same thing. It goes here, we get a candle wick, but immediately goes back down, and it fights right around this 1566 marker. So even here, we had it, but how long do we hold this line? It was the 8th. So not even a week. You can call that a week. That it kind of held, but even dipped down underneath. So this 15 2/3 is a big line. Once we get there, that's when we'll be looking, if it's a Friday or a weekend, for it to close there. That's going to be a big deal. So if you're looking for long or short positions, this is a number worth keeping an eye on as well. So now I want to zoom in a little bit. So you start seeing, look, but wait, there's more. All right. And so now we got this loading. There. this can show us more of what we want to see next. So once we hit that $16 marker, we're pretty much in a flying zone. We'll have a little bit of resistance likely around 17.5 to 18. And then I'm not expecting maybe $22, 21, 22. And then it seems like we are open season to go up a good 60%. And we're looking around that $35 line. Again, there was a lot of support, resistance, support. Didn't have to worry about it, and you see the pattern from it. So if we end up clearing about $22, in my opinion, looking at a long up to 35, get about a 30% increase, I think has a pretty good chance, specifically if it's in the height of the bull run. All right. And the next big one to look at is a little under 50. Again, guys, I've talked about this with the emotional or the mindset component of whole numbers, 1s, 0s, 5s, and right around 47. If we clear that, we're open season to fucking blow. But those are the jumps. And I do think there's going to be a lot of selling pressure right underneath $50 from a lot of people who are looking to get their money back, or people who just want to move into something else. Granted, they can always change their mind. The best thing that could happen is that it goes up really quickly. Everyone gets excited. They change their mind and we just let it go up for a while. So in the near future, this is the next line we're looking for. When it starts looking like it's going to ramp up a little further, I'll do another video and give you guys my opinions and thoughts on that as well. So there it is, guys. Illuvium. I think it's either going to be, we'll call it roughly 150 in between my numbers, which is considered bearish, even though it's a 10x from now, guys. Anywho, or I think it's going to fly up past that, clearing 500, and it's going to be carried from, we need a few things to happen, something exciting about it. They have mentioned, the Illuvium team that is, that they are timing when they're going to advertise. Always good to see that they're thinking about that, because that means that matters more for us than it does for them as a business. So I want to see that price action fly up. Timing will make a difference, but we'll see where it goes. So what are your thoughts? Where do you think the price prediction for Illuvium is going to be? When do you think it's going to rocket? What's your average cost into it? Can you bring it down more? Can you accumulate? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.